Well, hello, welcome. It's Thursday Q&A live with me, Phil Morse, as usual. Now, because it's a few weeks now we've been doing it like this. We're not in the studio. We're actually in a place about 100 miles southwest of Madrid, in the plain of Spain, and I'm just taking an hour out here from a mega road trip that I'm on for the last month or so, and a few more weeks yet, to do the usual Thursday Q&A live for Digital DJ Tips. So it's holiday time for us. We're back in school, back for the new term at the beginning of September, but that doesn't mean I don't want to do the Thursday Q&A lives with and for you guys. That's one thing we are carrying on throughout this period. So that's what's going down now. Hope that you can see and hear me okay. I normally don't need to say that, but with all the things that we have to deal with, our little modems and our phone masts up on the hill there, and the computer overheating in this 100-degree heat, you never know what's quite going to happen on these Thursday Q&A lives out on the road, and I guess that's part of the fun. And I do apologise for the crappy Apple camera going from dark to light again like that. There's absolutely naff all I can do about that. But look, the important thing is that I'm here for the next hour for you as the founder of Digital DJ Tips, to talk DJing with you and to help you with any DJing issues you might be having, whether it's your DJ gear, you want to chat about DJ gear, controllers and mixers and decks or whatever, or maybe you want to chat about music, getting the music, arranging your music, finding music, making playlists, or you want to talk about the techniques of DJing, mixing, transitioning, all the features of your DJ setup. Maybe you want to talk about going live or DJing live or live streaming or performing or anything along those lines, or you just want to talk about how to get more gigs, the businessy side of DJing. I'm here to help with any of that. So we are live on Facebook, so welcome if you're watching us on our Facebook page or on our Facebook groups, both our public group and our private group for our students. Hello. We're also live on Twitch. Hello to our small but dedicated Twitch family and our rather larger family watching us on YouTube. And that does actually bring me to my very first point, which is we've just published an article over on Digital DJ Tips on how to stay live on YouTube. So you can see there me trying to find out how to stop that stupid auto exposure thing going on my camera. But if you go instead to the Digital DJ Tips website, which is what I meant to show you, you will see this article here, 3 vital steps for DJing on YouTube without copyright hassle. So if you want to live stream on YouTube and you've never managed to do it without getting your live stream taken down, go and take a look at this article here, where I not only talk you through it, but we've got a video there. Where else? On YouTube, of course, showing you exactly how to do that. So that's a piece of training that we've put live this week for you. Right, people, hello. People are saying it's very noisy. That's because there's a fan playing away, keeping this poor laptop cool. There's nothing we can do about that, I'm afraid. That is part of the fun of being out and about doing these live streams away from the studio. Hello to all of our regulars, to Nobody Likes, You Don't Like My Music, to AMD DJ Chris, to Darlian, to Muncie, to James and Brian, to GM who says hello Phil and everyone joining, hello to Kevin and Pierre, and Brian who says, doesn't the rain in Spain fall mainly on the plain? Well, it probably does, but certainly not in the middle of summer. And also apparently the water in Majorca don't taste like it oughta. But there we go, all the Spanish verses. And to be honest with you, we were actually in Don Quixote country recently. So if anyone's read Don Quixote, we stayed in a Don Quixote campsite and we were in the middle of Don Quixote country. All the restaurants seem to be named after the mythical Spanish anti-hero. But yeah, we've had a lot of fun touring around Spain and Portugal over the last few weeks, and we've got a few weeks of it left, so that's cool. Right, okay, questions. Now, if you would do me the favor of hashtag ask, hashtag ASK for your questions, it'll just make it easier for me to find them as I'm going through the questions here on my screen. So the first question live is from Mel, who says, I'm trying to stream with OBS onto Mixcloud, but I'm not sure on the settings to stream with good audio. I'm not too worried about video. Audio is more important. Can you help? Well, to start with, the default settings on OBS are probably going to be absolutely fine for going live on Mixcloud. So I would just try it. Go live, do a test live. You can always save the recording on Mixcloud and listen to that recording back and see if it's all right. You know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The thing is, if you're going live, as we're live now actually, the audio is a minuscule part of what you actually use bandwidth wise to go live. So really you can have really good quality audio without it affecting anything at all. So I would say just whatever it's set to by default in OBS, try that, and if you don't like what you hear, go and mess with the settings a little bit, or anything, whatever you might be using. But I wouldn't worry too much about that. You're going to get decent quality audio from the off in most broadcast software. And if you, yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Let us know how you get on there. Mel, hello to Amar. Craig says he is sorting out his music library for a mobile event wedding on the 18th and 21st. Oh, basically you're sorting your library out for all kinds of things. Not taking bookings, but looking for tips on what I can fill the playlists with. I've got some ideas, but I need more inspiration. Right, so let's do some talking about mobile DJ playlists. What you really want is the best songs from every year. And so there's lots of ways of getting the best songs from every year. One of the best ways of doing it is just to go online and find a source that you trust in the town, city or country you're in, or state that you're in, of the top tracks from any given year. So what you want to do is get the top 100, say from this year, last year, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and then look through that list of tracks and find the ones that you think would be good to play in a mobile DJ set. So they're going to be danceable, they're going to be stuff that you want to play. Even as a mobile DJ, you have some input in what you play and what you don't play, and then have all the years covered off, and then when you've got those tracks, those kind of raw tracks in your library, you can then start sorting them out into different folders, and the folders you use here are going to be, or playlists, they're going to be based upon all kinds of things, but basically you're going to look for little chunks of music you can play together. So let's say a disco folder, a funk playlist, a rock playlist, a kind of punch the air end of night playlist, a warm-up playlist, a house playlist, a trap playlist, hip-hop playlist, all this stuff with all the biggest songs over the years from those genres. And obviously some genres you're not going to find much hip-hop from the 1950s, but you know what I mean. So we're putting the same songs into different areas. We've got the songs into years, we've also now got the songs into genres, and you can also put the songs into energy levels, so songs that you know are going to fill a dance floor every time, you know, the dancing queens of this world, and also stuff that won't, which is going to be more your warm-up music. And the idea is that we're going to slice and dice our biggest hits from every year into folders or playlists or crates or whatever they're called in your software that are instantly usable in any situation. So let's say you start playing, you know, 80s FM soft rock, and suddenly your dance floor fills up. Where are you going to find the other 80s FM soft rock songs to go with Toto's Africa that you just played? You need to have folders or playlists or crates created so you can do that. And so it's not a case of like adding new playlists or crates or folders and then going away and finding the music to put in them. You already want the music there, and as a mobile DJ, it's going to be the biggest hits from every year. Get those hits into and you can have the same track in lots of playlists. That's the key with playlists in digital software. And another tip is to, whenever you're deciding what to play in any given event, take the age of the oldest person or the oldest significant group of people and figure out when they were 18. So let's say you've got a load of 50-year-olds, then when they were 18 is going to be 32 years ago. So we're going to be going back to doing maths in my head now, 2021, 2011, 2001. They're going to be 18 around the late 80s, early 90s. So you're going to want to play music from then forwards. There's no point playing stuff unless they're massive hits that everyone still dances to today from before that time, because if you do that, you're going to be hitting people with the music they were dancing to when they first went out, and that's the stuff that fills dance floors. So anything from them forwards is going to be fair game. Craig, I'm looking forward to hearing how you get on. You're a great student, a great member of our community, and I'm looking forward to hearing what kind of playlists you build, and then of course hearing how they go down when you get your gigs in the diary. So do let us know. So take your hat off, it will improve your camera. Yeah, it won't improve my look though. Yeah, leaving the hat on, folks. I was literally in the swimming pool half an hour ago, that's why we were late, but hey, you can't do it when you're on holiday. When can you do it? So Pierre says, I want to start my first course. Well, that's really good news, Pierre. If you're not sure what course to go for, the one to go for is the complete DJ course. Head over to Digital DJ Tips, click on DJ courses at the top, and scroll down to complete DJ course. It's the first course here in the complete courses. This is the course that is our bestseller. This is the one that covers everything you need to know in the 5 big areas of DJing: gear, music, techniques, playing out and promoting yourself. It's also the course that's based on our best selling book, which you get for free, of course, as a Digital DJ Tips member. And if you're not a member, where have you been? Join us, digitaldjtips.com/join. But this is the course that you're going to want to take a look at, the complete DJ course. But there are lots more, so do take a browse on that page if you think that one maybe isn't exactly right for you. But thank you for your confidence, and I do hope you enjoy whatever course you choose to go with us. Thank you for that. So let's pull another live question. This one is from Jonathan, who says, I'm looking to improve my IEMs, that's in-ear monitors, to something better. Do you have any IEM recommendations under $1,200 and not custom molded? If not, do you prefer traditional headphones and why? Well, there's 2 questions here. Traditional headphones versus in-ear monitors, earphones basically, and which ones we recommend or prefer under $1,200. So let's talk very quickly about that comparison. DJs traditionally have used headphones. You can have your headphones on to listen to your tracks, to cue them up. You can close your eyes and cut out the rest of the world, turn your headphones up, and it's just you in your cocoon of music getting the next track ready. Then when it's time to mix it in, you can take one ear off, your monitor speaker's there, you're hearing what the crowd are hearing in one ear, and the headphone is still playing in the other ear, and then you can do your beat mixing with this kind of soundscape that's created with those 2 elements, and you've taken one of the headphones away completely. And when you don't want to be monitoring your music at all, you're between tracks, you're just chatting or whatever, your headphones go around your neck. That's the traditional way of DJing, and it's the way most DJs, I would say, still do it. But just like if you look at a band on stage nowadays, they don't often have those wedge speakers that are feeding back what's going on in the main mix to the band members, and now they just have in-ear monitors. In-ear monitors are coming in for DJing as well. So for DJing, the advantages of wearing in-ear monitors, which you leave in all the time, are that they're generally very good at isolating, so you can have the overall volume lower, so it's better for your ears. You have to get used to a different way of DJing, which is that you leave them in all the time. So some people love that. They're just concentrating on their DJing. They don't want to talk to anyone else, don't want to have a social life while they're DJing. That's fine. If that's you, if you're a performing DJ, it's why you see people like James Hype, who of course is one of our tutors, using in-ear monitors, because James does not want you or anyone else talking to him when he's DJing. He's DJing, right? So he has his in-ear monitors in, and that's his way of saying to the world, stay away from me, I'm doing my job. And so it's a different way of DJing in that respect. You also, because one of them is replacing the monitor speaker that's near you, you need to be DJing with equipment that has split cue. And split cue is also known as mono cueing. It will put whatever you are cueing, whatever you are listening to that the crowd isn't hearing, in one ear, and it will put what the crowd's hearing in the other ear. And that way you learn to replace the monitor speaker with an earphone. What you lose, unless you're prepared to go to your mixer and keep switching between split cue and normal cue and stuff, is that ability to just get lost in the next track and ask yourself artistically, is this the right track for me to play next? I think really when you're considering whether to use traditional headphones or IEMs, it comes down to the kind of DJ you are. If you are more of a kind of selector DJ who is living on your toes and thinking very hard about the next record all the time, I think traditional headphones are best, because you can take them off totally and get into the vibe of the club. You can put them on to lose yourself in the next record and say, is this actually what I want to play, or should I play something else? Or you can do the kind of queuing thing with one on and one off. You've got all those options. With in-ear monitors, they're probably better for performance DJs who are always doing something on the decks. It's why, as I say, Hype uses them, but also Laid Back Luke, another one of our tutors, you see using IEMs. So they've both got their pluses and minuses. You'll get used to either, by the way. You can happily learn to DJ on either. So I guess the question is, what do we recommend under $1,000? Well, there's only one set of in-ear monitors that we actually recommend, and they are the Shure 535s. And I've got to be honest, I forget the name of the full name of them, but if you Google Shure 535, you'll definitely find it. Of course, I'm doing it for you now in the background. The SE535, Shure SE535, they're about £500-600, so maybe €700. And the only reason I recommend them is that James Hype uses them, and I trust James's judgment. He doesn't actually like them that much, but you can get them everywhere. They're reliable, they work, and James is like, I don't want to spend more than that because they might break, and then I've got to buy another pair. So when you're a pro DJ, 600 or 700 is a lot better than 1500 or 2000 on in-ear monitors. That said, there are some really nice ones that are coming out from Sennheiser, and we're going to be reviewing them very soon. They're not custom, they are just off the shelf, and they're around the $1,000 mark, so I'm looking forward to reviewing those very soon. But until I've done that, I can't tell you anything more. But the Shure SE535s are going to be a good start. More live questions. People, you're joining Digital DJ Tips. We're clearly not in the studio if you're not with the program. We've been away from the studio for a few weeks now, will be for the next couple of weeks. We'll be back in the studio in September for our Thursday Q&A. Did I say Tuesday Tips then? I meant Thursday Q&A. So that's why we're not in the studio, but we're still doing it, and I'm still here to help you with whatever you're stuck with in your DJing. And if you do enjoy this, we'd love you to be our latest member. It's easy to do, digitaldjtips.com/join. Head over there and join up. We will give you lots of free stuff, including a copy of our book, which I keep talking about. So hey, why not do that? So the next question is live from PH, who says, is the Reloop Ready better than Pioneer DJ SB3? It's a good question. It's got more features and more functions on it. It's a little bit fiddlier. It's only got 2-band EQ instead of 3-band EQ. So yeah, I'd still say probably the SB3 overall, because it's a better all-rounder. But for a portable controller with a lot of control, a lot more than the SB3, yeah, the Reloop Ready is a good one. So it's not as simple as yeah, this is definitely better than that or whatever. This is Annika's comment. Hello Annika, always nice to see you on our live streams. I've now got myself set up for live streaming, apart from my camera and tripod. Denon Prime Go, subwoofer and 2 mini rig 3s, all well done. And I've just bought a Netgear Nighthawk M1. Is it easy to set up? It's actually the router we're using here, the Netgear Nighthawk M1. They've got an M2 now as well, but these are 4G routers. They're very powerful. They are likely to pluck a good signal out of the air where others do not. And they're very, very easy to set up. You have to get an unlocked SIM card which goes in it for your data, preferably an unlimited SIM card as well, so that you don't have to worry about the amount of data you're using. You plug it in and it just kind of works. You can log in with an app, which is a bit fiddly actually, but you can also log in by going to a web address on a computer that's connected to your Netgear and do all the tweaking there. But you really don't have to do too much tweaking. I don't think we've changed anything important in the settings for ours. It just kind of works. So yeah, if you are looking to live stream from around the place and you don't want to use your phone hotspot, you want to use something different, like we've got a different data card in here to my phone for instance, then I do recommend this little router. It's certainly not the cheapest MiFi router, but it is the best in my view, the Netgear Nighthawk. This is the M1. As I say, there's an M2 out there now as well, so I hope you're going to find that easy enough to set up, Annika. Looking forward to hearing what you say about that. Hello Alex, as ever. Keith, is there such a thing as too much promoting? What a great question, Keith. No, but there is such a thing as pissing off everyone in your Facebook, Instagram, whatever. So there's a thin line between spamming the hell out of people and telling them what you're up to. I think the thing with promoting is have something to promote. So, don't just be promoting the same old stuff all the time. Be doing interesting stuff to talk about, but also come at it from different angles. Try and do something different every day towards your goal, whatever your goal might be. If you've got a mix you've done online, then why not do a little tweet or a post wherever you are about each of the tracks you've used and tag in the people who made the track and the record label and so on, and try and get them to just be glad that you've featured their music, and then maybe they'll retweet to their lists. Think a little bit more rather than just hitting the same people over and over again. And I think a really important thing with promoting yourself is to figure out what works and what doesn't. So don't just do things scattergun. It's great to try different things, but look at whether it achieved what you wanted or not. and try and learn from what you've done. One of the best ways of, let's say you've got a couple of hours to promote yourself, is to go and look at what you've done before and figure out what did and didn't work, and then try something new, and try promoting with all different types of media as well: video, photos, audio, written, because people like to see and hear and look at different things in different places at different times. So if you just look at how James Hype promotes himself, look at how Laidback Luke promotes himself, if you want to think of two of our working DJ tutors, but also look at the way that Digital DJ Tips carries itself on our channels, and get ideas from people that you respect who are doing a good job on social and so on. But I think, keeping it fresh, trying new stuff all the time, keeping an eye on what works, and not just spamming the hell out of people, because more is definitely not more when it comes to hitting the same people over and over again. It's more about thinking about how to hit new people, or thinking about how to please the people who are already on your radar, rather than just getting them to the point where they think, well, I know you and I like you, but I want to unsubscribe from you because you're annoying me. Of course, we do an awful lot about how to promote yourself in the Complete DJ course. Also, if you're trying to do it professionally, in our Mobile DJ Blueprint course, if you're setting up a mobile DJ style business. So that's where to go and look for that kind of thing. Let's get more live questions. We're really rolling here now, so thank you very much for all your questions coming in. DJ Jonas, what software do you recommend for producing your own mashups, and where can I get clean studio acapellas? So number one, software for producing your own mashups. You can't go wrong with Ableton Live, although it does become a little bit complicated, but Ableton Live is the standard for making mashups and making all kinds of bootlegs and remixes and re-edits and so on. And it would be remiss of me not to point out that we have actually got a course that teaches you how to make all these kinds of things on Ableton Live. It's not just any old course, it's taught by someone who has made a career out of making and playing mashups and so on, and that person being no one less than my friend and yours, Laidback Luke. So if you're interested in Laidback Luke's course on how to make bootlegs, mashups and re-edits, just scroll down on the Digital DJ Tips course pages and take a look there. And this is taught using Ableton Live, but actually it's taught using any version of Ableton Live at all. So you don't need to have the expensive version. We do give you a 25% discount on Ableton Live. We've got a deal with them if you buy this course, but you can do it with the $99 version. So with a 25% discount, it'll cost you $75 for the software. So that's perfect for making mashups and bootlegs and re-edits and so on. So you do it, and you can always upgrade in the future, so you don't really have to spend an awful lot to get started doing this. There is other software out there, but I would honestly say, if it were me, I would just want to use Ableton, because once you get started using Ableton, you're on the right path to producing your own music in the future. You're getting used to how all the controls work and where everything is, and you're taking the right steps, if you like. So you're not going to get to a point in the future where you think, oh, I want to start making music now, and suddenly you have to stop using the piece of software that you were using for making mashups because it was a bit limited. You found it online for $20 and it was all right for a bit, but then you can't make music on it and that kind of thing. I'd say just go for Ableton, to be honest with you, and look at that course as well, because Luke really does make it easy. He starts at the very, very basics, just how to make a simple mashup with 2 tracks, and then he moves on to making re-edits of tracks, and then finally bootlegs where you're adding your own drums and bass lines and making radical changes to music as well. So it kind of gets you all the way to the point where you're ready to start remixing and making music. Just might be that we're thinking about producing those courses as well with Luke, although to be fair, we can't really go anywhere at the moment thanks to COVID regulations. So the idea of going to record courses with anyone is a bit of a pipe dream right now, but hopefully that will all change, and all the amazing plans we've got for new material will start to come to fruition, and believe me, we have. So I hope that helped you, DJ Jonas. So the next live one is from Snaildon, who says, hi Phil, I've been receiving emails from Twitch regarding DMC cracking down on music being streamed on their platform. Is DJ streaming to Twitch in jeopardy? It isn't in jeopardy for going live in the moment. As far as I know, they're not taking live streams down as they happen, but your recordings, yeah, definitely. There's no point recording and leaving your stuff on Twitch. If anyone knows anything more, Snaildon is on YouTube. Maybe join us in the comments on there, or just let us know here, and I'll try and read that out. But as far as I know, you're looking all right for live streaming on Twitch. We have just published an article, I showed it you earlier, on how to make sure your live streams don't get blocked on YouTube. But none of this stuff is fail-proof. None of it. And my live stream on YouTube got blocked 2 weeks ago, first time in years. It's not that they've changed anything, it's just that we were unlucky that time. And this week's was fine, next week's I'm sure will be fine, and so on. There is no way to live stream on any of these platforms for sure, unless the platform has got legal licenses, and the only platform with legal licenses is Mixcloud. So Mixcloud, you pay for it, and Mixcloud does not have anywhere near the reach of the other platforms, but your live streams will stay up. So really it's up to you what you do, or you can do what we do, and we use something called Restream. So I will show you what Restream looks like. In fact, I can't show you what Restream looks like because I've closed the window. Restream is basically it's at restream.io, and it basically lets you go live on more than one platform at once, but you only send one signal out from your live streaming system. So if you're on a modem, or if you're on your ADSL or whatever, and you're trying to send a signal out to YouTube and to Twitch and to any other channel, you're going to find that your bandwidth on your computer don't like that, and it doesn't work. So what this clever system does is let you send one signal out, and from that one signal they take all the heavy lifting off you, and their servers send it out to all the different platforms you want to go live on. So that means you can go live on Mixcloud, YouTube, and God forbid Facebook at the same time. You'll get taken down on Facebook, and if they do get taken down, hey, you're still live on the other channels. That's the point about this. So again, you pay for this stuff. No one's going to give you this stuff for free, but that is one way of kind of hitting all the channels at once. So the next live question is from Darren, who says, "Hi Phil, I've had some trouble with waiting for tracks to load on my Pioneer DJ XDJ RX2 in Rekordbox and my SSD drive 1 terabyte. I've got around 300 gigabytes of music, but I'm not really used to the software yet, as I'm new to Rekordbox." Right. So you're using your XDJ RX2 as a controller, basically. You're not using it as a standalone, you're using it with Rekordbox as a controller. And so without looking at your particular setup, I'm going to say your issue is very likely that Rekordbox doesn't like a 300 gigabyte library. It's really, really big, Darren. Now, without looking at what you've got there, I don't know for certain. But if it was me, I would try taking 1,000 of those tunes that I actually play, as opposed to the other 299 gigabytes that you don't, and putting those in a separate drive and seeing if you still have the problem. And if you do, it's because you've got a lifetime's worth of music sat there on that drive. Without looking at it, I don't know, but that's what I would do. You really don't need that amount of music, and it's just in the way. It's in the way with your searches, it's in the way when you want to back up. For me, the first thing I would do would be to get that down to a far, far, far smaller collection. It's going to help you in so many ways. But as far as how much music Rekordbox can handle without slowing down, I really don't know, because I've never seen anyone with a library that big trying to use it in Rekordbox. Nope, can't think of anyone. Laidback Luke has been DJing for 25-30 years. He's got 5,000 tunes. I'll leave you with that thought. I don't think you need that much music. Philip, best sounding mixer or controller for vinyl? My DDJ SX2 sounds fine for Serato playback. The phono preamps aren't that great. It's true. My PLX 1000 sounds much better plugged directly into my home stereo. Yes, okay, so the best sounding mixer or controller for vinyl. Well, unfortunately, the downside of Pioneer's controllers to date is that they don't have very good phono stages. So, for instance, you want to use. If it was me, frankly, I would simply use a Pioneer Pro setup with a Pro mixer and Pro media players and plug my decks into there. But you're looking at 5,000 for that plus. So for Rekordbox, well, to be honest with you, you're just using it with turntables, aren't you? So you're not going to need the media players at all. So you could buy a DJM 900 Nexus 2 mixer, which is an absolutely lovely mixer, and that's going to sound absolutely brilliant with your turntables. Yeah, get a Nexus 2, treat yourself. It's an old mixer now, but it's still pretty. Mixers are mixers, really. Nothing really changes on them, and that's going to sound absolutely brilliant, Philip. It's the best sound that Pioneer has. Actually, I honestly think that they say the sound is better on their, I can't remember the name of it now, but the mixer that they released last year. What's it called? Someone help me out. We reviewed it as well, but hey, I go blank on these things sometimes. The mixer that's kind of like a kind of more Richie Hawtin sound sculpting type mixer. I can't for the second remember its name. Nope, it's escaped me. But look, every club in the land has got a DJing 900 Nexus 2. It will sound amazing with your turntables. Go for that one. Let's see if someone's trying to help me out with the name of that. The V10, thank you to the Ruckus for pointing that out. Mixmaster G says the S7 has a great phono amp as well. That's cool. So there we go. There's a couple of choices there for you. Right, so live questions coming in. Hashtag live if you can. It'll just help me to spot the live questions in the mix. This is just a comment from Pete, who says, I just want to say, because of your in-depth review of the Prime Go, I purchased it and it's my best purchase this year by far. Thank you, Phil. Well, you're very welcome there. That's what we are here for. Just a big thank you to everyone for being so kind to each other and helping each other out. Let me give you a tip, actually. If you're one of our regulars, come to Facebook for these. The really best place to come to for these lives is our global DJ network, because it just is the best place to hang out full stop as a DJ. But a very close second is our Digital DJ Tips Facebook page. And the reason for that is that the questions you ask and the comments you make stay with the video afterwards, and that doesn't happen on YouTube. On YouTube they scroll up the side and they're kind of gone, but on Facebook they stay with the video. So that means that the very, very useful help that you give each other stays there forever, so other people can join in and help as well. But it also means that, you know, I get to answer 10% of the questions that you guys and girls ask on these lives. It's just the way it happens. But that way my team can get to you afterwards, and if they can't answer, they'll bounce the question back to me and I'll come back and answer. So basically you'll get help even if it's not straight away if you're on Facebook. You know, it's horses for courses. We prefer Mixcloud Live as a platform for going live, for live streaming, because you get better quality there, and that we know the stream is going to stay up. We prefer YouTube for our long form videos and for our reviews and stuff, because it's just the natural home for that. But for this live stuff, Facebook is the obvious place to be consuming and watching it. So make sure you are on all of those platforms really to get the best out of them all. So Mel says IEMs are not so good for open format DJs then. Well, it depends really what kind of open format DJ you are, Mel. It depends. To me, it's how much mixing you do. Because if you're mixing all the time and that's all you do, your DJ sets are head down, DJ set, DJ set, DJ set, DJ set, DJ set, DJ set, finished. IEMs are probably good. When I DJ, my favourite kind of DJ set's 3, 4, 5 hours long, building a mood, playing a bit more of the tunes than some DJs do. And also I want to get into the vibe of the club. I want to meet people. I want to chat to people. I want to feel part of the evening. Now, when you've got IEMs in all the time, you kind of don't feel as much part of the evening, because what you are part of is the music. You're as close to the music as you're ever going to get. But for me, I want to be in the vibe as well. So I like headphones I can take on and off. So it's not so much the music as how much you're mixing, I would say. This is from Travis. Here in the downtown of Canada's biggest city, question about social media metrics. Where do I sit with 375 followers in first 4 weeks of trying? Average views from 75 to 200. Comments is only at 2. Right, listen. Travis, it's not about numbers, it's about who. It's not about how many, it's about who they are. Because you can have a career in DJing, you can have everything you want as a DJ producer with 1,000 followers, but they've got to be people who absolutely love you. And those 1,000 people will follow you to the end of the earth. They will sustain you, they will buy what you do, they will tell their friends about you, you will get bookings through them, you will get love from them. Or you could have 100,000 followers who you've just gained through some method that means they're here today, gone tomorrow. It really is about who is following you. So I would say simply don't get hung up on the metrics, or rather don't get hung up on raw numbers. You're looking for engagement, you're looking for the same names coming up over and over again. I know, I can look down this list of people on this broadcast and I know the names of a good percentage of people who are watching this live. Yeah, we've got a couple hundred people on here live. What have we got? 150, 200 people live. But I know most of them, and that's what this is all about. And then we're going to get 20,000 views over the platforms of this broadcast over the next week. but 19,000 of those are going to be passing casual people. I'm much more interested in the 150, 200, 250 people who come onto these live broadcasts week in, week out. They're the people I can help. They're the people who are the natural fit for digital DJ tips. And they are, that's 2% of the people who are like that among our audience. Our dedicated audience, I don't know. And we've got 27,000 students, right? So they're the people I really care about, and that's after 11 years. So I don't look at like 350, 400 people doing this, 25 likes on this. Yeah, look at them to see how well your material is hitting, but look at the names, learn who these people are, look at what they're saying to you, engage with them. It's quantity, not quality on social media, and that's the way we teach it. And after 3 weeks, by the way, look at it after 6 months. Just keep doing what you do for the first 6 months, and then look at it. You don't build a social media following, you don't build fans for life in 3 weeks, but you don't lose them in 3 weeks either. You turn up week after week for 6 months, a year, 2 years, and then start looking at who you've got. Right, so let's get some IEM tips. Sennheiser IE300s with Compli tips, says Andy, so there's another recommendation there. So that's cool, thank you for that. What is the best DJ tip James Hype gave, says DJ Jonas. Well, you'd have to get the course to find that out. James Hype shares his 10 rules of DJing in the James Hype course that we made with him. So put it on your Christmas list, or even better, on your Black Friday list, which is of course our big sale once a year. Any new Denon Prime controllers on the horizon, says Tim. Not that we can tell you about, or in all honesty have heard of, Tim. Maybe it will happen, but we're not in the loop on anything that's coming for sure there. All right then, so another live streaming question here from Matthew. Often cameras I connect with OBS don't show up when I open the software. They work, but I occasionally have to unplug and plug in, sometimes restart. Is there a preferred order of operations in terms of setup to ensure they're working? What I say with an OBS, for those of you who don't know about live streaming, is open source, Mac, Windows. Sorry about the wind, by the way. I can do absolutely niche about it. So, but if it's sounding even worse than the fan whirring away, that's why. At the moment, OBS is open broadcast software. It's a software that you could use on Mac and Windows. It's free to go live, like I'm live now. We're not actually using OBS here. We're using something called Ecamm Live, but it's exactly the same. It does the same thing. And the issue is your cameras sometimes don't show. So without knowing your exact setup, the general rule is plug everything in before you launch your software, because your software will sometimes struggle to see stuff that you plug in and unplug and settings you change. It's the same with a lot of software. It's the same with Audacity, the audio software. Quite often it won't see audio devices that weren't there when you booted up the software. So basically have everything plugged in and turned on and ready to go before you launch the software. Is the preferred way there. Just have a quick drink here. Now that is lukewarm water, because it's about 37 degrees centigrade here, which I think is probably high 90s Fahrenheit. And you know what, I've got used to it. I just pretend it's weak tea, and then it's not so bad. But there we go. Kids absolutely hate it though. We're filling the bottles up and leaving them outside overnight so that they get cool in the cool morning, and then we've got cold water for them for at least the morning of the day. So there we go. The joys of being the joys of van life. #van life, as they say. Craig is asking about our Jason Janai course. So this is a DJ course we made with Jason Janai, one of the biggest wedding DJs in the USA, specifically about DJing weddings. It is on hold basically because Jason has had to deal with a 95% drop in income and business through COVID. He's getting his business back on his feet now, and when he's got he's put out the fires and he's got himself back to a position where we can concentrate on training again, we will be revisiting the Jason Janai course, Craig, but we have no timeline on that right now. So John, when I'm using Ableton to make DJ edits, is it essential my PC has an i5 or higher chip, as my PC right now only has an i3? So no, it's not essential. You can use Ableton on all kinds of stuff. It's just the more effects, the more tracks, the more you pile in, the more processing power your computer will need. Now, if you go to Ableton's website, there is a minimum spec page, and I'm not so sure that it is still at i3. It might be. Go and have a look at that though, to find the minimum spec. But you know, the more powerful your computer is, the easier it will be, and the quicker it will be processing stuff and so on. But that said, you know, if you're just making very simple bootlegs, just taking a couple of tracks, mashups, it's not really going to use more than your DJ software uses. So I would be tempted, if I knew I was making very, very simple DJ edits, to go with the current PC and Ableton. You know, get Ableton Intro. It's $99 or something, and then you know one day you're going to be upgrading your PC anyway, and that might just be the push you need to do it. But first, go and check that page. You know, without checking that page for yourself, I can't give you a solid answer. How much data per hour of live streaming do you get? Says Andy. What you mean on what? On what do you get on what, Andy? You know, how much data you use depends upon the resolution, the frame rate, and so on. But we are using unlimited internet here, so we get as much as we want. So yeah, I'm not sure what your question is there too much. So this is a good one from You Don't Like My Music. He says, I don't understand why artists and publishers don't recognize the promotional value of DJ mixes. Well, I think they do. DJ mixes are, they're not the gold standard that they were back in the day when DJ mixes were quite rare, because obviously they're not rare anymore. But a DJ mix is an essential part of your promotional mix, I would say. It's like a calling card, it's like a business card. You got to have a DJ mix out there, preferably one out there a month, showing what you do and where you're at. It's just that they're not going to get you gigs, they're not going to get you famous. You know, they're part of promotion nowadays. But to say that artists and publishers don't recognize the promotional value of them, I don't think is true. Let me know where you're coming from there. You Don't Like My Music. I'd like to know your further thoughts on that. So apparently Twitch's terms and conditions imply that you can be shut down for using Restream. I've never heard of anyone being shut down for using Restream. It's the same thing on Facebook. I wouldn't worry about that until it happens. A couple of you saying that, but nah, never heard of anyone having any issues at all. I don't think they check. I don't think there's any way of them checking. The next hashtag live question is from Midnight Wolf. I'll be purchasing a used Denon MCX 8000, my first venture into buying and using a controller. I've been using Virtual DJ for 9 years. It feels like I'm starting over. Any course suggestions? Well, if you're using Virtual DJ, we don't have an up-to-date Virtual DJ course. However, our complete DJ course is the classic. It works with all software. If you're going to be using Serato with the MCX 8000, you might want to take a look at our Serato Made Easy course, which is the course that will, if you've been using Virtual DJ for 9 years, you're probably going to need a little bit of help getting used to the new software, to using Serato with it. Now, I'm pretty sure the MCX 8000 does work with Virtual DJ. How well it works, I don't know, to be honest. But head over to Digital DJ Tips, scroll down to the software and hardware courses, and take a look at Serato Made Easy. It's been completely updated very recently. It is literally everything you need to know to get used to Serato. So if you are a Serato newbie, this is going to be your shortcut to getting up to speed and getting back to what you want to do, which is DJing, of course. You don't want to be spending weeks and months figuring out a new software, do you? So good luck with that, Midnight Wolf. Our next live question is from Slam, who says, do you think that programs like Serato, Virtual DJ, etc., that allow you to connect to an online library like SoundCloud will eventually allow Spotify support, or no? Not in the foreseeable future. They used to, a couple of programs used to, but it was taken away. So no, I can't see that coming in the near future. The next, not so much a question, but a bit of advice, is from Mixmaster G to Midnight Wolf, saying, I'd advise you to stay away from the MCX 8000. It's at the end of its life and it's got problems. A DDJ 800 or 1000 or a Prime 4 is a better choice. That would probably cost you a bit more than the MCX 8000, but good advice there. It is an older controller, but of course if you're getting a bargain on it, you want to use it with Serato, for instance, then all good. It will still work as a controller. Yeah, I didn't even assume that you wanted to use it as a standalone controller. I wouldn't recommend it as a standalone controller for the same reasons that Mixmaster G says. It's getting old now. So thank you for jumping in there. Apparently Rekordbox hates large libraries, says DJ Elemental, so that will explain possibly the issues with a 30 terabyte, whatever it was, 300 gigabyte library, that's what it was, isn't it? But Kevin's got over 1 terabyte of music on Rekordbox, and it's still super quick. So there we go. I'm not in a position to give you the definitive answer on that, as I said at the time. So Brian, speaking of backing up your music, are there any preferred cloud storage services to have off-site storage of music? They're all pretty much a muchness. You've got Dropbox, which is the one Pioneer DJ seems to prefer. You've got I back up all my music on my Apple Drive, basically because I use it anyway. I don't use iTunes Match or anything like that. I just use a folder on my Apple Drive that backs up. You could use your OneDrive if you're a Microsoft user. They're all pretty much the same, to be honest. And so therefore I would say no preferred service from my point of view. I've used most of them over the years. Tony's looking for a 4-channel controller for Serato, like the look of the XDJ XZ. I mean, it will work fine with Serato, but that said, you don't need to spend anywhere near that amount of money. The DDJ the DDJ 1000 SRT is good if you can still get one. A DDJ SX2 I actually prefer to the DDJ SX3, but both the SX2 and the SX3 are really good. Just to give you some off the top of my head, so you don't have to go for the XDJ XZ, which is XZ, which is a very big controller. So lots of people talking about mixers that have got great phono stages. Allen and Heath, yep, all Allen and Heath mixers have got great phono stages. DJ Elemental is loving the S11. Noel is saying the Nexus 2, best mixer I ever owned, says Noel there. So there we go. So Master DJ James says, what do you think about Numark? What, as a brand? I think they're great. Numark are a great entry-level brand. They've got some amazing kit. Their Scratch mixer, the Numark Scratch, is fantastic value for money. There's another great mixer for $500, which will give you a phono stage and also work well with Serato. And their Mixtrack Platinum and Mixtrack Pro FX DJ controllers are great value for what you get. So yep, big fan of Numark. They do a great job at that end of the market generally. If it was a general question, or if it was just about mixers, well, yeah, the Numark Scratch mixer is really good. This question is about Algorithm DJ Pro from Lilart. Why are they having issues with their DJ app? It crashes every 2 to 3 hours. Without knowing what platform and which version of the software you're using, I don't know, but not something I hear a lot of. So it's probably something particular to your setup there, rather than the app in general. It's been around a long time. Have you seen the new Mackie Thumb speakers? Says Keith Mrack. I'm going through your complete DJ course again, and it's good to relearn everything. Well, I'm glad that you're going through the course again. As always on these calls, I always say I learn as much as I teach. I will be writing the new Mackie speakers down as something to investigate. So no, the answer is I haven't seen them, the new Mackie Thumps, but it's now on my list to look at. Just got a few minutes here left, people. We're keeping these to 45 minutes, which we've actually already overrun, but I was a little bit late, so let's do a few more at the end. We'll be back to the full hour once we get back to the studio in September, but let's get our first of our final questions live. So Pete, have you ever thought about doing a digital DJ tips DJ and tutor tour? Just an idea. We have actually, and who knows, it might happen sometime. I think taking digital DJ tips on the road to 12 cities worldwide might be great. That said, jetting all around the world is it very PC nowadays even to do that? I've not been on a plane all year, not been on a plane for about 18 months, and I feel like I'm kind of doing my bit for the environment a bit by doing that. Then again, if we come to you, you don't have to come to us. So I don't know. Living nowadays, nothing's easy, is it? So yeah, we have thought about it. This is from Sean, who says, I've transitioned from Technics 1210s or 1200s to Rain 12s, and I'm interested in the Rain 1 for convenience. Are there any negatives? Not really. We love the Rain 1. I mean, the Rain 1 is a motorized DJ controller, people, if you don't know. So it's an all-in-one DJ controller with real turntables, real vinyl. They spin, but they're just controllers. You can't play records on them. They just control your software, and it's all in one unit. I mean, it's big and heavy, so you're going to have to be aware that you can't just throw it under your arm and waltz off. You know, you're going to need a trolley for it for sure. A trolley case would be good for it, but I think it's great. Yeah, I think it's fantastic. And the platforms are the platters are a little bit smaller, so some people are like, oh, I need to play on a big platter, but honestly you can scratch on a 7-inch platter absolutely fine. Alex, poor Alex, says, why does all the stuff I buy off Amazon stop working? Funnily enough, something we bought off Amazon stopped working yesterday. Nothing to do with DJing, although it was a mixer. There we go. Anyway, Alex says, my Pioneer Bluetooth headphones stopped working. My laptop needs a new hard drive. My Tractor S3 is not working. Well, I don't think we can blame Amazon for that, Alex. Maybe it's something you're doing to it. Maybe you've got fingers that just static the hell out of your electronics. You know, there's a fair point there. Stuff does break nowadays more than it should, I think. I was doing a review today of the mini rig speakers, so some of you will know that we've loved mini rig for years. So the speakers I use on our live broadcasts. By the way, you can join me on a live broadcast. Look at your watch now, 20 minutes before whatever your watch is saying now, so 20 minutes earlier than now. Come and join me on Sunday. I'll be doing a live music show on all of our channels except Facebook. And you'll see me using the speakers I'm talking about now. They're called mini rigs. They're really, really good, and they just go on and on and on. I've got my mini rig one from God knows how many years ago that still works fine. You know, there is stuff out there that lasts, but we're in a consumer throwaway society, aren't we, nowadays? And I think it's a bit of a shame. I hope it swings back towards stuff lasting a bit longer. Stuff does break, and we do throw it away, don't we, Alex? So maybe it's just a sign of the times. I mean, one thing about Amazon is you could normally get a replacement. Of course, we all know that Amazon just chucked the old one in the bin, but there we go. Right, okay, final couple of questions then, people. Thank you very much for your kind comments and for being here, Stephen. Thank you for all the kind things you're saying there. I just want to put a question out here that is a little bit different to all the other ones that we've been asking today. You know, you tend to get the same questions over and over again. This question here is actually quite a good one because it's a problem, or it's an issue that all people have, and I want to give you our opinion on it. So Harry on Facebook says, I need to buy a controller, but I don't know which one, or should I wait, as Pioneer hasn't released anything good this year? Well, we could debate whether that's true or not, but look, buy what you need today for what you want to do today. There's always going to be something new around the corner, but it doesn't mean that yesterday's is somehow useless. You know, this gear, as long as it lasts, and to be honest with you, Pioneer gear does last. You know, it's going to work for 5 years, whether they release a new one tomorrow or whether they release a replacement in 4 years' time. The one you buy today will still work in 5 years' time, so you're still going to get 5 years worth of use out of it. And DJing involves two things that spin that you can change the speed of: headphones so you can hear the things that are spinning, speakers that they can hear what you want them to hear from the things that are spinning, and a bit in the middle to mix all that stuff together. And that hasn't changed in 40 years. So don't think there's going to be a new controller around the corner that means the one you bought today is suddenly obsolete. It's rubbish. They want you to think that, they want you to buy their shit, but it's not true. Controllers haven't changed very much in years, to be completely frank. If you buy a Pioneer DJing 1000 or a DJing 1000 SRT, if you want the Serato version today, it's going to last you for half a decade. As of today, you have Phil's word on that. So don't hold back in getting what you want right now. It's just not worth it. And we all want the latest, you know, and we all do it. It's our default mode, right? But honestly, buy what you want when you want it, because DJing is not about the gear. The gear just allows you to do the stuff. And the stuff that you need to do is not changing very quickly at all. Right, I'm going to leave it there, not least because this place is hotting up and it's getting noisy. So thank you very much everyone for being here for Thursday Q&A Live. Listen, if you have stumbled over this and you're wondering what the hell is that beardy dude doing in a field shouting at his MacBook over the wind, we are usually in a studio for this, and I'm usually shaven, but hey, if you can't grow a beard on holiday, when can you do it? We're normally in the studio. We've normally got equipment around us for these and stuff, and it's quieter than this and better quality and all that stuff, but that starts again in September. This is a live Q&A where we're basically here to help you about your DJing and with your DJing questions. If you've enjoyed this, if you're one of those new people, please do subscribe. Digital DJ Tips is a family, it's a community, and it's free to join. You get loads and loads of resources, not least our weekly newsletter and a copy of our best-selling book on DJing. To subscribe, go to digitaldjtips.com/ join. digitaldjtips.com/join. It's free. We would love to have you as our latest member. So that's all I want you to do if you're new to this. If you've got value today, I want you to hit that share button, please, wherever you are. And that's it. I'll be back next week at the same time. Hopefully I will remember a little bit earlier than I did today and not be in the swimming pool at the top of the hour when I should have gone live. So sorry about the half-hour delay. And we will be back in the studio as of the first week in September with these, when Tuesday Tips Live will also be back. Thank you everyone who is chopping in and saying goodbye in the comments. I won't name check you all, but Annika, Craig, Dagmar, John, and everyone else. Annika, I couldn't answer all your questions. In fact, I think we spoke, but we didn't answer any of your questions. So look, Annika's talking about live streaming in the Facebook chat. So please, live streaming experts, get in there, give Annika some feedback on what she's been asking. Annika, you've got all the help you need coming in imminently. I'm promising you that, because that's how it works. And if you want to see the answers to all these questions again, and you want to see the conversation, as I say, Facebook is the best place to do it. Go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/digitaldjtips, find the live stream recording, and you'll see all the questions going on underneath that. Right, get good, get out there, make the moments, people. Until next Thursday, Lord knows where we'll be. Have fun, and see you on Sunday for the live stream, when I'll be spinning some chill out tunes again. Who knows where from? It's part of the fun.